In this movie, we're going to start customizing Excel. We're going to go back and change some option settings for the mini toolbar, for live preview, for the color scheme, and for screen tips. In order to change some of the option settings with Excel, we need to get back to the Excel Options dialog box, which is located in the Backstage area. We can get there by left-clicking File and then left-clicking Options. This is the Excel Options dialog box. We are by default on the General group, and we're going to take a look at all of these things in this area, starting with the User Interface options. These are all the default settings. So we are going to start here. The first one says Show Mini Toolbar on Selection. It is on. Before I turn it off, I want to show you what it is. Back in Excel, we have some content in cell B4. I'm going to left-click and drag to select that text, and you can see the ghost image of something appear right above cell B4. If I hover over that, it becomes clear that it's a toolbar that has some standard format options, the font size, whether it's bold, italicized, the color of the font, the size of the font, larger or smaller. Those are all the options that are displayed there. This is the mini toolbar. Excel assumes that if you select some text in a cell, that you're probably going to do something with it, and one of the things you may want to do is to reformat it. So it displays the mini toolbar. I'm going to left-click off of this and go back to the Excel Options dialog box in a different way by using the keyboard shortcuts Alt-F-T. We have the Excel Options dialog box. I'll left-click and turn the Show Mini Toolbar on Selection off. Left-click OK. And now when I left-click and drag and select that text in B4, nothing happens. We don't get the mini toolbar displayed. I'm going to click off of that again. You can, however, get a mini toolbar to display by right-clicking in a cell or a range of cells. We get a mini toolbar at the top that has some more format options displayed, and we also get what's called a shortcut menu that enables us to do yet more things to the content in that cell. This functionality you cannot turn off. This will always be available every time you right-click either a cell. I'm going to escape out of that. Left-click and drag. And now I'm going to right-click. Or a range of cells. Back in the Excel Options dialog box, the second one on the list is Enable Live Preview. Again, that's activated by default. I'm going to leave it that way. Left-click OK. Left-click B4 so I can show you the live preview settings. Instead of explaining live preview, let me show you what it is. When I hover over these choices in the Styles Gallery, my selected cell, B4, displays these format options as I hover over one to another. This is live preview. Live preview is a pretty nice option to leave on because you can get an idea about what the format choice that you're about to make is going to look like before you commit to it. So I can actually left-click and change the format of that cell, and live preview continues to function and show me the other options as I hover over one after another. So that's live preview. We can left-click that checkbox and turn it off. The next option we can change is the color scheme. The default color scheme is silver. That's what's currently displayed. We have two other color choices. Left-click this drop-down. I'll choose blue. Left-click OK. And there was a slight change. Excel now displays the headings and the ribbon in a blue shade. Alt-F-T. We can also change to black, which is a little bit more dramatic. Alt-F-T. I'll change the color scheme back to silver. The last option that we have in the User Interface Options group is Screen Tip Style. The default setting is Show Feature Descriptions in Screen Tips. And again, before I turn it off or change it, let me show you what it is. Left-click OK. We get our silver color scheme back. When you hover over any of these command buttons, you'll get what's called a screen tip. Merge and Center has its own screen tip. Wrap Text has its own screen tip, and so on. So there's a fair amount of content with this screen tip. It explains what Merge and Center is and gives you a graphic display of a before and after picture, and also gives you access to help for this particular command button. There are two other settings for the screen tips. The first one, don't show feature descriptions in screen tips. Left click OK. I'll go back and hover over Merge and Center, and we get a truncated screen tip that just has the name of the command button displayed for us in the screen tip. I'm not sure what good that does anybody, but you can have Excel display just a truncated version of the screen tip. Back in the options dialog box, the last choice is don't show screen tips at all. That's self-explanatory. When you hover over command button, it won't cause anything to be displayed by way of a screen tip. So those are the four options in the user interface group. The Show Menu toolbar, where a formatting toolbar pops up automatically when you select text in your active cell. The Enable Live Preview, which displays your content in a particular format that's part of a group of choices that you can make so that you get a heads up on a change before you commit to it. We have three choices of color schemes, silver, blue, and black, and we have a couple choices on the screen tips to show the entire thing, show a truncated version, or to turn them off completely.